If you love surprise-filled craft kits, you're definitely in the right place because this one feels like a full-on party in a box. Now, today I'll be unboxing the brand new Simon June 2026 card kit, and trust me, it's packed with fun party-inspired elements and a beautiful touch of nostalgia that instantly takes you back in time. I'm going to walk you through everything inside the kit and share all those little details that make it so special. We will also be creating a card. Hello everyone, I'm Revati and let's dive right in and see what's inside. Now, this is the Simon June 2026 Step Right Up kit, and this one is such a cheerful, playful collection that instantly makes you want to start creating. Right out of the box, you'll find a handy inspiration sheet included, packed with project ideas to help spark your creativity and get you started right away. Now, as always, the Simon's monthly kits are full of amazing value, and this is no exception. Now, let's get started. We have four beautiful dies that are included in this set. Please note that even though this kit is already sold out, you can still grab all of these products individually if something catches your eye. Now, the first die here is the 3D cone die. This one cuts out a beautifully curved shape that assembles into a dimensional cone. And there are so many possibilities. You could turn this into a little ice cream cone, a fluffy cotton candy cone, or even a playful party hat element for your handmade cuts. Next, we have the ephemera slots die, which cuts three clean parallel rectangular slots that are designed to tuck in little die cut pieces, tags, photos, or any other small creative elements that you want to layer in. It's such a versatile interactive piece and would absolutely be perfect for creating fun, engaging interactive card designs. Then we have the Festive Bunting Die. This one includes a curved string or a cord along with a set of rectangular flag pieces that you can attach along it to create a classic bunting banner. It instantly brings that cheerful party-inspired vibe, perfect for birthdays, celebrations, or any card where you want to add a festive finishing touch. And this one's my favorite, the 3D popcorn box die. This die cuts out all the pieces you need to build an adorable dimensional popcorn box. It even includes little dies to cut out those popcorn kernels, which makes it so playful and realistic. To pair with those popcorn kernels, we also have this absolutely fun new product called the White Heat and Fluff Paint. All you need to do is squeeze a little bit of that paint, and then while it's still wet, apply heat using your embossing tool. As it heats up, it puffs and expands almost like real popcorn, giving you that amazing dimensional feel. Also, we have this little thread that you can use with that festive bunting die set, and it would be absolutely perfect to create those little banners. Now, this is such a fun little product. We have a pack of pink and blue craft cotton fluff. These are going to be absolutely adorable as cotton candy texture, especially when paired with the 3D cone die. Just imagine those soft, fluffy layers sitting right on top of your cone. It's such a playful carnival-inspired detail that really ties the whole theme together. To give our popcorn that perfect buttery look, we also have the Distress Oxide Mini Ink Cube in the shade Scattered Straw. Now, this one's such a warm, soft yellow. It pairs beautifully with the popcorn dye and really ties into the playful carnival inspired theme of the whole kit. I especially love these Distress Oxide inks because they are so beautifully pigmented and blend like a dream. And I really look forward to using this in an upcoming project to bring all those popcorn details to life. Talking about popcorn, you're also going to get these popcorn scratch and sniff elements. You just scratch off the top layer and it releases a classic popcorn scent. It's such a fun sensory surprise. I can't wait to use this on a card and send it out to someone, and I'm really hoping the recipient enjoys this unexpected little interactive detail as much as I do. We also have some ephemera in the form of tickets, and this one's the Tim Holtz ticket book. It has, I think, 95 tickets all in one book, so you're getting this entire pack here. Now, when you flip through these, you see little tiny price tickets, little punch style tickets, and some of them are larger designs, including the ones with that classic circular detail in the center, like they are punched. So, this definitely gives a beautiful nostalgic feel to it. Just imagine layering all these ephemera slot die pieces, and it would pair perfectly with the interactive element and the ephemera die that I showed you earlier. What I also love is that the vintage feel across this design and the fact that these tickets are perforated on both sides. So you just have to fold along the edges and tear them separate to give a clear, clean cut, and then choose exactly the ones that you want to use on your project. Moving on, we have this absolutely gorgeous 6 by 8 stamp set called Having Fun, and it truly lives up to its name. At the top, you'll see a variety of burst style images that can be used as fireworks, celebratory accents, or even just bold background elements that really will make your card feel like it's popping off the page. Now, there are several fun sentiments included, each with different font, which gives you so much versatility when building your design. And at the bottom, you will see some other images that coordinate beautifully with the dies that are included in the kit. And in my future videos, I'll show you how they can be paired. Actually, after I finish the unboxing, I do have a card for you guys where I show how I use some of these images onto my die cuts. There are coordinating dies available which cut out all these images and the sentiments that can be bought separately. Next, we have some pre-scored cards. These are 4-bar size made of 120-pound cardstock. They are very much smaller than your standard A2 size card base, so I'll have to play around and figure out some creative ways to use these in my projects. But that's part of the fun, right? Last but not the least, we have some fun cardstocks. We have a sheet of heavyweight Desert Storm cardstock, and there is the white that you see is a lightweight white cardstock, which is perfect for pairing with the 3D cone die. And there's also one sheet of that Schoolhouse Red. Again, it's a heavyweight cardstock. Now, again, for something new and exciting, this is the Fun and Games card panel. It's 8.5 by 11 sheet, and it's designed in 4 quadrant layouts. So you can actually get 2 card panels out of each sheet, and you can actually create 4 cards, making it super versatile and easy to cut apart. Now, the patterns are so playful and bold with stars, harlequin style stripes, and some really cool polka dots that tie perfectly with that cheerful party inspired theme of the kit. So, well, this is such a playful carnival inspired collection full of interactive dice, fun textures, and those little surprise elements that really make card making feel extra special. From the dimensional popcorn box to the cotton candy fluff and all those coordinating stamps, ephemeras, and papers, there's so much here to spark your creativity right away. I can't wait to get started with this kit and bring some of these fun ideas to life. And I hope it inspires you too. Talking about inspiration, let me show you a quick card I made using the stamp set and the Festive Bunting Die. Usually I only do unboxing videos first, but this kit was so exciting that I couldn't wait. I had to dive in and start creating with it right away. So off camera, I went ahead and prepped all the pieces to speed things up. I used black cardstock to create the twine element and cut out 2 lengths so I could build that layered bunting look across the card. Now, for my little banner flags, I die cut them using 2 different shades of pink cardstock. I love how the 2 tones add a bit of dimension and visual interest without being too busy. You'll notice there are 2 small holes on each of those banner pieces, which make it easy to thread the twine through and keep everything nicely aligned. I just gently guided the black twine through each flag, spacing them evenly to create that classic bunting effect. And well, of course, you could absolutely switch things up here. You could use the red and white twine that comes with the kit for a more traditional festive feel, or even mix and match colors depending on your theme. That's what I love about this set. It's so flexible, and every small change completely transforms the look of your card. If you find it a little tricky to thread the twine through these small holes, you can totally use any pokey tool you have on hand. Just gently push the twine into the hole and pull it through from the other side. It makes the whole process so much more easier and saves you a bit of frustration. Now, all of these little flags are pretty simple on their own, so I decided to add a bit of extra detail and inking them up to bring them to life. Now for that, I'll be using some of those solid images on the bottom of our stamp set. They work perfectly as filler elements and help add a pop of color and interest to each banner without overpowering the design. So it's such an easy way to coordinate everything and tie the whole card together beautifully. I started with light pink banners and laid them out on my ultra sticky mat so they wouldn't move around while I was working. To add some soft detailing, I used light pink shade called Carnation from the Simon Says Stamp Positively Saturated Ink collection. And using those solid stamped images, I added little stars and polka dots across these banners. Now, it's such a subtle but effective way to bring in extra interest and texture, especially when you're working with otherwise plain die cut pieces. Just those small little stamped details instantly make the banners feel more playful, cohesive, and finished without overpowering the design. I kept rotating my stamps as I worked so that each banner didn't end up looking the same. By changing the orientation of the image, you naturally get more variety in the stamp pattern across the banners, which makes everything feel more organic and less repetitive. It's a small step, but it really helps each piece feel unique while still keeping that cohesive, coordinated look throughout the whole design. Once I was done with the light pink banners, I switched things up and moved on to the dark pink banners. Now, for this set, I'll be using the shade Cherry. I repeated the same exact process of inking them up with the polka dots and stars, but this time I also added the striped pattern for that little bit of extra contrast and visual interest on the darker tones. I did go ahead and die cut quite a few of these banners, but well, I won't be using all of them in today's card. I actually love doing this because it means I can easily save the extras for another project later. So nothing goes to waste, and I already have a little stash ready for next time. This way, I can either recreate the same design again later or switch things up by using different colored cardstock and pairing it with the pinks to create a more variety look. Now, it's a great way to get more mileage out of your die cuts and stamped images because once you've got the base design figured, you can easily remix the colors, patterns, and combinations for completely new results every time. Now that all our banners are stamped and ready, it's time to thread them using a little black die cut twine. Now, I used lightweight black cardstock to create my twine, and I actually found it much more easier to work with compared to heavyweight cardstock. It's more flexible, so it slides through the banner holes really smoothly without much of that resistance. That said, if you prefer, you could absolutely use an actual black twine instead. It would work just as beautifully and give a slightly different texture to the finished look. I went ahead and did this with both versions of my black cardstock twine and created a 5 flag banner for each of them. I alternated between the light and dark pink banners to create that beautiful color variation across my panel. It really helps break up the design and adds a bit of more visual interest instead of having all the same shades in a row. I love how these two tones work beautifully together. They feel cohesive but still give that playful contrast that makes the whole banner stand out on the card. Now that our banners are ready, let's move on to building the card front. I have an A2 size white cardstock panel and I'll be using the new sparkler scallop frame dies from the Always There release. This is such a gorgeous die set and I really love how it adds that soft decorative touch without overpowering the rest of the design. For this card, I'm going with the largest frame from the set. It creates that beautiful scalloped edge all the way around the panel, instantly giving it a more finished and dimensional look. What I love about this kind of detail is that it does so much work visually. It frames your focal point, adds elegance to a simple white background, and ties everything perfectly with that playful festive elements we've already created with the banner. Now, before I place my banners on the card, I wanted to stamp my sentiment first. I was honestly a little unsure at first about which sentiment to choose, but in the end, I decided to go with have a little fun today, every day. It just felt like the perfect match for the playful carnival inspired theme of this card. So I placed my panel into my stamp wheel and to make sure that I got a very nice, clean impression. I positioned the sentiment on the right hand corner of the panel so it balances the design without overpowering it. I stamped the sentiment using pigment ink, and while it was still wet, I generously sprinkled on some clear embossing powder. Then I heat set it and created this beautiful glossy raised finish that really makes the sentiment stand out. It adds such a polished professional touch, and I love how subtly it catches the light without distracting from the rest of the design. Well, initially I had planned to keep things really simple with just the sentiment and the banners on the panel. But once I saw everything coming together, I felt like this design needed just a little bit more energy and movement to really bring that carnival scene to life. So at first, I thought I would use some of that confetti style stamping and add it across the whole panel, but I was not very happy with that design and I thought it wouldn't match with my theme. So I ended up going with these beautiful firework like burst images instead. They felt so much more fitting for the playful theme of our card. I used a small stamp block to hold my stamp in place, which made it really easy to position everything. And then I started building up the background using a light bubblegum ink shade. I stamped these larger firework bursts first, spacing them out across the panel so they would create a nice foundation for the background design. Once I placed my banners in position, that's when I felt like it still needed a little something extra. So I decided to go again and add smaller firework details around the larger ones using the same bubblegum ink. It really helped fill in the gaps and create this layered festive background that ties everything together beautifully without overpowering the focal elements. I even added one of those little firework elements slightly overlapping my embossed sentiment. And that's what's great about heat embossing, that it naturally resists the ink, so you don't have to worry about messing your sentiment or losing that crisp, glossy finish underneath. It stays nice and clean. Once the background was done, I moved on to adding my banners. I placed little foam squares on the back of each of those banners because I really wanted them to pop off the panel and create some dimension. These banners themselves are pretty thin, so you don't have a lot of uh, built in them. But actually, it gives you a lot of flexibility. If you want more height, you could definitely double up on your foam tape or use thicker foam squares. Whatever works best for your style and look you are going for. That little extra lift really helps the banners stand out and adds so much more life to the overall design. Once I had my banners adhered in place, I carefully lifted my panel off the sticky mat. Then, using a little liquid glue, I secured the ends of the black twine directly onto the card front. I like using liquid glue for this step because it gives me a lot more wiggle room to adjust the placement before it sets and holds really well once it dries. After everything was secure, I simply went in and trimmed off any excess twine that was hanging over the edge of the panel. This keeps everything nice and clean and gives the card that polished, finished look without any loose ends distracting from the design. I then added some pink dazzling gems in different sizes to the center of those firework bursts. It instantly brings in that extra bit of shine and sparkle, and it really helps those background elements stand out without overpowering the rest of the design. I love using embellishments like this because they are such a simple touch, but they completely elevate the overall look and feel of the design. It also ties beautifully into the clean and simple carnival scene, just enough sparkle to feel festive and fun while still keeping everything balanced and cohesive. Now that our card front is ready, all that's left to do is assemble it onto a card base. I went ahead and popped up my entire panel using foam tape to give some extra dimension. I love doing this step because it really lifts the whole design off the base and makes all those layered details from the banners to the background stamping feel more dynamic and eye-catching. Once everything was aligned, I carefully pressed it down onto my card base, making sure it was nice and straight and securely adhered. And well, here's a look at the finished card. And that completes our card project. I absolutely loved bringing this playful carnival inspired design to life using the Step Right Up kit. From the dimensional banners, the stamp details, to all those little background elements and sparkle accent, everything came together to create a fun, beautiful card, slightly nostalgic celebration scene. Now, even though the kit itself is no longer available, the great news is that all the individual products used in the project and the products part of the kit can be purchased separately. I'll make sure to leave links to everything in the description box below so you can easily find and recreate your own version of this card. Please note that all of those links will be affiliate links, which means that if you shop using one of my links, I'll get a small commission at no cost to you guys. Thank you again for joining me today. Until next time, stay safe.